So it would be just as you approach the gates. Wrong! What? Oh, okay. What? I don't know what that means. Okay. I'm Jess, and I have been living in London for quite a few years now. And I found on Buzzfeed that they have a citizenship test, but like specifically for London. The name of the quiz is, can you score more than 75% in this London citizenship test? For my residency visa, I had to take a UK knowledge test. At first I thought it was going to be like that, but then I saw that it said London citizenship test. There's no such thing, obviously. So I was like, okay, I feel like this is gonna be taking the piss. And I did read a couple of the questions, and it definitely is. If you live in London, definitely go and take this quiz before I take it so that you can see how you score and we can compare scores in the comments. But if you have just visited London, take it anyway if you want. You probably won't get a lot of it because it's like for people who like specifically live in London, so it might not make sense to you. But give it a go. We'll see. I don't know. What else are you gonna do? You're stuck inside all day. So this says this test is broken up into 3 parts: situation, location, and vocabulary. So let's do it. Situation. On which side should you overtake someone? There's a bug. On which side should you overtake someone on an escalator? Okay, what I'll do is I'll kind of explain these jokes, and maybe they're gonna be funny to you, maybe they're not if you don't live here. I don't know, we're gonna see. So you always walk on the left side of the escalator, and if you're gonna stand, you walk on the right. So the answer is on the left. Correct. It's strictly forbidden to stand on the left-hand side of any escalator without the intention of walking down in a hurried, slightly exaggerated fashion. It's so true. If you stand on the wrong side, you will get such angry vibes coming from behind you and people being like, excuse me, because people say we do not have time to be standing on that part of the escalator. Ugh, just too busy. Number 2, in which circumstances do passengers usually shout, can you move down please, on public transport? Oh my God, so when the tube gets really crowded at rush hour, it is so annoying when you're waiting to try to get onto a train and you've already had like 2 of them pass, and you can see through the window that people have not moved down. So the people who are in the middle of the carriage, away from the doors, have so much space. So let's see what these, this is exactly what the rush hour is like, this picture. It's just perfectly, oh, that guy's sweating. Exactly, that is exactly it. So what was it? When do passengers usually shout, can you move down please on public transport? Which I totally am that person, and I knock on the window, excuse me, can you move down? And then sometimes they're like, no, because there's a suitcase, and I'm like, oh, sorry. But then usually I'm like, move down. When there's plenty of space, no. When it's crowded but it's clear there's a little room, or when there's absolutely no f***ing space and a poor granny's head is already being smushed against the window. So the answer is when there's absolutely no f***ing space. Correct. There never seems to be any room when people say this, ever. How much is a day travel card? So this is a travel card, like a paper one that you would buy. It's not an Oyster card, and you'd buy it for just for the day, covering zones 1 to 4 and not an Oyster. Right, so I think a day travel card would be zones 1 to 4. Ooh, 1210 I feel like is zones 1 to 2, and then £16.40 is probably zones 1 to 4. Let's see. Wrong. Oh, it is £12.10. Okay. Or, so it says wrong. A standard zone 1 to 4 day travel card is £12.10, or as known to Londoners, a f***ing piss take. And the reason for that is that when you use an Oyster card or a contactless debit card, if you travel through zones 1 through 4, the maximum that you'll be charged for that day, which is called the daily cap, is less than £12.10. So there's like literally no reason to buy these like day travel cards. I literally have tweeted the TfL being like, why would somebody buy this? And they're like, we don't know, it doesn't make sense. Meet Charlie. Charlie was born in Coventry. Where's Charlie from? I know where this is going with this. Londoners like, it's either London or the North. It's Coventry, the Midlands, or up north. So obviously she's from Coventry. I don't know if it's the Midlands, but yeah, usually like anything north of London, a lot of Londoners are like, they're from just up north. Correct, come on, every Londoner knows anywhere north of the M4 is up north, exactly. That would be like the equivalent of being from South Carolina. If you meet someone from Philadelphia, you're like, oh, they live up north. It's like, there's loads of stuff up north, but there you go. When are trains in London most likely to be delayed? Ugh, wow. When it's too hot, when it's too cold, when it's too raining, all of the above. It's definitely all of the above, because I swear, like, every kind of condition that happens weather-wise in London, you just get train delays for that specific condition. So it's like, the tracks are too hot, so the trains can't run over them. Or it's too cold, the tracks are frozen, trains can't run over them. The tracks are too wet, so the trains can't go on them. There's leaves on the tracks because it's fall, and that's what trees do. They lose their leaves and then they go everywhere. So I know the answer is all the above. Correct. There's no timeline in which a train in London is not delayed. Correct. You're about to exit a busy tube station. When is the appropriate time to take out your Oyster card? I feel like you can always tell when people are not from London because they take out their Oyster card so early, which is good. Like, it's good to have it out a bit earlier, because otherwise, if you're like fumbling around in front of the gate, it's very annoying for people who are like very swiftly trying to get through, and it ruins the flow. But then it's like Londoners are like, oh, it's like not cool to have your Oyster card out too early. It's like, oh, you're such a tourist. So on this question, the answers are on the escalator on the way up to the gates. It should be ready at all times, as soon as you see the gates, or just as you approach the gates. So the last possible second, so it would be just as you approach the gates. Wrong, what? Oh, okay. No one likes standing behind the person fumbling over their Oyster card. Get it together, be prepared. Okay, fine. So the answer is it should be ready at all times. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Oops. Next one. What is the correct way to address the person in charge at your local chicken and chip shop? I don't really ever go into these because I'm vegetarian, but also they're just kind of a little bit gross. A chicken and chip shop is like the really local, greasy equivalent of a late night like McDonald's run. They serve like fried chicken, fish and chips, really greasy chips, like chips and French fries. They're usually the busiest on a Friday or Saturday night when people are drunk and they're like, I want some chicken and chips. That sounds like a great idea, even though it's not. You always regret it in the morning. So what is the correct way to address the person in charge at your local chicken and chip shop? So boss man, brother, sir, or mister. So boss man is probably definitely not sir or mister. Brother could be it too. Oh, okay, let's try brother. No, okay, boss. While boss is also appropriate, the man in charge is always known as boss man. Okay, I'll chalk that up to not having experience in that area. All right, on to the location questions. What was the O2 Arena originally called? Ooh, I did not know it was called anything but that. Okay, I think it's the biggest venue for like sports and concerts. I recently seen John Mayer there a few months ago. It's really cool because all around the outside of it, it's all enclosed, but there's loads of shops and restaurants, so you can go and like make an evening of it before you go to the show. So if I had to guess what it used to be called out of these four, it would be the Millennium Dome. Let's try it. I was right, okay. Before the likes of Beyonce and Adele performed at the magnificent O2 Arena, young children nationwide were traveling to the Millennium Dome to take somewhat creepy pictures with E.T. What? I don't know what that means. Okay. 9, how long has London Bridge been getting renovated? Forever. As long as I've lived in London, which has been like 7 years now. The answers are over a year, 6 months, since the dawn of time, renovation has finished. So most of the renovation has finished, but I'm not sure if it's all done yet. So I'm gonna say since the dawn of time. Correct. Can anyone remember a time when London Bridge wasn't being renovated? Not me. In which London borough is this ridiculous street name? Haha Road. Okay, so SE18, that is the first part of the postcode, which can give you an indication of what area this potentially is. So that's southeast of the city. So I don't think it's Southwark. 18 is probably a bit further out from the center of London. I'm kind of tempted to guess Lewisham, although Greenwich might be one too. Maybe Lewisham or Enfield. All right, let's go Lewisham. Wrong. Oh, Greenwich. Okay, if you're from South London, you'd probably recognize the street from being in Greenwich. Cool. What is the official name of the Houses of Parliament? The Palace of Westminster, Westminster Court, or Parliament Abbey? The Palace of Westminster. I think you probably know that as well. Correct. The Houses of Parliament are officially known as the Palace of Westminster, and it's the largest palace in the country. Where was musician David Bowie born? Okay, I know this. This is definitely South London because he was born in Brixton, because when he passed away, there was tons of tributes around the area, and there's a famous street art painting in Brixton that has been there for a couple of years now. South London. David Bowie was born in Brixton, which is in South London. Which of these tube stations is not in Zone 1? Oh, I'm gonna kill this, I know it. Gloucester Road, Lambeth North, Bayswater, or Oval? Actually, I'm not gonna kill this, I'm not. What? Okay, which one's not in Zone 1? Oh, that's actually quite a tough one. I wanna say Lambeth North. Bayswater, maybe? Bayswater might not be. Oh, these are all, I think, like right on the border of 1 and 2. Okay, I'm just gonna have to guess. Let's go with Lambeth. How far south is Oval on the Northern Line, though? Lambeth North, I'm gonna go. Oh, wrong. It was Oval. Oval's on the Northern Line, I should know that. What is the name of the stop that's missing? Oh, okay. East Acton, blank, Shepherd's Bush. I know this. White City. I go there all the time. Correct. If you know the Central Line like the back of your hand, which I kind of do, you'll know the missing stop is, of course, White City. Vocabulary. What does this word mean? Crepes. Okay, this is how British people say, like, crepes, and they like to spell it like that. So it's pancakes, like, you know, crepes that you get in Paris or whatever. Wait, what? Oh. Trainers? Crepes are another word for trainers. I've never heard that. I think we're getting into like proper London lingo, which I think I'll know some of it, but not all of it. Which of these words has a negative connotation? Spreads, butters, margarines, toasties. Okay, so I watched this show on Netflix while in quarantine called Man Like Mo Bean, which is really funny. A bunch of guys are throwing insults at each other, and I'm pretty sure they were saying butters. So let's try. Yes! To call someone butters is to call them ugly. Yes, I knew it. There's a little lingo for you. If someone describes a situation as peak, is it negative or positive? And it says doesn't actually have anything to do with mountains. I mean, surely it's positive, right? Like when you peaked? Although that's bad. Like in the US, we'll say they peaked in high school, which means that after high school, things got bad. Let's go positive. No, peak is not good, unless it's the top of the mountain. Okay, now I know. Which of these is not a way to address a comrade? Okay, fam, ref, blood, or bruv. Okay, so I know fam is how you would address someone. Bruv, I know is ref and blood. I feel like ref would be, so let's say blood. No, ref is just the shortened version of referee. It has nothing to do with your friends. Okay, so their correct answer is what you wouldn't call someone is, oh, ref. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so blood, I've never heard that before. If you give someone money and they reply with safe, what does that mean? Safe, Nan. I've not heard that before. I'm not up with all this lingo. Safe. Where's the rest of my money? What's this? Thanks or keep your money? I bet it's keep your money. No, it just means thanks. Upon receiving something safe can mean thank you, but it's also an adjective for someone who's a decent person. Okay, I'm learning a lot. I'm not doing very well in this section at all. Which of these would you most likely see a roadman wearing? I think probably the construction vest in the middle, right? I feel like this is a trick question. This is where it's all gonna fall apart. Come rain or shine, a puffer jacket is a go-to for the standard roadman. Okay, so they don't mean construction men. I'm not doing well at all. Can't wait for all the really kind comments from the Londoners who did way better than me on this test, criticizing me for not being an actual Londer. I'll be waiting. What do the words rail replacement bus actually mean? Oh, okay. So rail replacement bus is when your tube line or your train line is down. So instead, they're picking people up from stations and busing them to the other stations. And it's the worst experience that has ever been known to man. I'm not being dramatic. No. Mm-mm. So the answers are a bus service that substitutes a train service, technically yes. An efficient alternative to the regular journey that was planned, no. A slight possibility that you might be later than expected, I wish. A sign that you should just cancel all your plans today. That's the one. Correct. Only get a rail replacement service if it's the last mode of transport left on Earth, trust me. Oh, and it said I failed. I only got 11 out of 21 right. Sorry, but your knowledge is just not as good enough to be classed as a proper Londoner. You were close though, so try again soon. Okay, well, I really fell down when it came to the lingo. I don't know, I just didn't know that stuff. I guess I need to brush up a little bit before I call myself an actual Londoner. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you got on the quiz if you took it in the comments and if it's higher or lower than my measly 11 points. And for more videos to watch on the Love in London channel, you can click the box that's popping up right below me.